Welcome to the Parenting Roundabout podcast for the week of December 7th, 2020. Every week we chat about the things parents are talking about, complaining about, and obsessing about right now. I'm Nicole Erdix, and I'm here with Catherine Colecco.
Hello.
And Terry Morrow.
Hello.
This week we are complaining about reinventing holiday traditions and obsessing about online shopping. We're also taking a couple of breaks for an entertainment discussion and a recommendation roundup. Today we're talking about how our families would make the local news. So it sounds, let me clarify. So this comes on the heels of a viral video, or a video that went viral this past week online on social media. And it was a video of a young lady that had come home to find an interesting creature in her Christmas tree. So she lives in Australia, and she noticed that there was a koala perched in her Christmas tree inside her house. So
just as we were wishing for in our exotic animals episode, right?
That's right. I believe I was the one who said I would have a koala. But now that I've watched this video, I see that they can be kind of snarly if they're disturbed.
And you already have teenagers, so you don't have any need for that.
That's right. I have snarling happening already.
Well, like with any animal and human beings, we can get snarly when we're, not where we're supposed to be, or not, things aren't happening the way we want them to.
To wake up from our comfy nap and relocate.
Exactly. I don't know how the koala made it up there in the first place. That to me is so bizarre, like how it climbed up there.
First it had to get in the house, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I could see that happening because it's a very open life, like living there, like the homes are very open, you know what I mean? Like architecturally, they're so they're very accessible and open. So I could see that happening. I'm totally generalizing, of course, but anyway, so this little koala showed up. So of course her family made the news, as it should, because how often does that happen? Where you find a koala in your Christmas tree. And so we thought we would kind of branch off of this topic and wonder aloud if our families were to make the local news.
Oh dear.
What would it be for?
We try to stay out of the local news around here.
Yeah. It's not what we seek, but if it did happen, what would it probably be for?
Oh, goodness.
What would your family be, go viral and famous for? So I'm going to throw it back to you guys because I got to think about this.
There was a time in the early days after our adoption when we could have been in the news for that, because Eastern European adoption was kind of getting to be more of a thing, and there was a lot of curiosity about it. I even feel like we were maybe approached by a reporter at some point to be in a TV report. I don't remember what it was for exactly, and we decided not to because we wanted to protect the kids' privacy. I may be making that up. I have a very vague remembrance of that. This was before the days in which I had a podcast, and I just talked about everything, and nobody has any privacy.
I was going to say.
I've come around on that, but they're older now, too. They were very young. So that could have been a thing. Now, I don't know. Maybe, sometimes I see news trucks outside, like on the street outside our house, because something's going on at the high school, but they never come to talk. Maybe they came to talk to us one time. I don't remember. We're very boring. I can't imagine really now at this point anything good that anybody would want to cover us for on the news. Maybe Special Olympics.
Could it be for something that is interesting that a family member does? Like I'm thinking about, a collection that your son has, which is kind of interesting.
Nobody seems to have any particular interest in that other than him, and his interest is intense. But I suppose if they were talking about, Special Olympics, they might mention him. I mean, they might. That's something we might be. My husband helped coach the bowling team, but they should be talking to there's other families that would be more interesting. Really, again, we're quite boring.
You're really
as y'all know who listen to this podcast. It's like, is she talking again? Oh my gosh! Catherine, what would your family be in the news for? Skating.
Right. I feel like it would be for participating in obscure winter sports. Not only synchronized skating, but we had our little temporary moment with luge. So that was unique. And actually, around the time of the last Winter Olympics, whatever network was airing it, I guess NBC, they had their local news people come to the rink and talk to a couple girls, including mine, just about skating in the Olympics and stuff. They didn't talk about synchronized skating, which is my daughter's main sport, because it's not an Olympic sport, not yet. Yeah. So if it becomes one, then we'll try to get on and talk about that.
What was the name of the campaign for that? Is that still going on?
There was a hashtag Why Not Synchro.
Yes,
that people were using. Yeah. So we're still hoping, it'll probably.
Yeah. Well, first there's got to be Olympics again.
Yes. That would be step thing. One.
Yeah.
And then on a completely different note, this year my husband's Halloween decorations did make the local newspaper.
Oh, wow.
Photo gallery.
Oh my.
Really?
Yes. So he, for several years, has done these like silhouette decorations. I'll find a picture of them where he cuts out black fabric and makes it into pictures, and he puts it in the windows of our screened porch.
Oh, wow.
This was based on something I saw like millions of years ago in Martha Stewart magazine. And I was like, look how cool this is. And he just like ran with it. Like I didn't do anything. So for several years he had like generic, a witch, a ghost, a tree, whatever. But then a couple years ago he made a whole set of The Nightmare Before Christmas. So he made the characters and some scenes from that. And so he put that in the windows. And so one night this October, somebody knocked on our door and it was a photographer for the newspaper. And he said, I just wanted to tell you I'm taking pictures. I'm not like skulking around outside your house.
Oh,
wow. So then there was like a big gallery on I never saw it in print, but it was in the on the website for the paper.
Cool.
Yeah.
And his were extremely different from anything else. Everything else was like either very gory or very like inflatable. So his were unique. So he made the news.
Wow.
That's exciting.
Yes. And he's got it all. He's changing it up next year. He's going to have a whole new theme, and he's already got it all drawn, designed.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
He's ready. So
that's neat.
Yeah. So that's our little claim to fame.
How about you, Nicole? What are we going to be seeing on the TV report?
Well, we have, my son has, been in some local articles, whether it was for his water polo team or mostly his guitar, his band or his guitar or something related to that. He's had a few mentions there. We were in our local newspaper several years ago when you take like your newspaper and you travel somewhere and then you take a photo with it. We did that when we were at the Great Wall of China.
Oh, wow.
When my kids were younger. And so we took that photo. We were holding the newspaper, our local newspaper. We took the photo and sent it in, and they published that. So that was kind of fun.
That's neat.
Yeah. Yeah. What's even funnier is that the newspaper, was actually, it was torn. We ripped it, but there was a funny story behind it. So every time I look at it, I laugh because the newspaper was not exactly in pristine condition due to bathroom
I was just going to
needs.
say, no, you needed it for.
Yeah.
Hope you didn't mention that to the newspaper.
Nope.
Because sometimes
So it's kind of a funny
in
story.
certain countries,
Yeah.
supplies are not provided.
That's-
It's BYO.
Nope, you gotta BYOTP. So that was the case at the Great Wall. So if you go there, and then what else? Yeah, I think probably it's just more related to something that my kids have done.
Uh-huh.
So not necessarily. My husband and I are pretty low key, so.
Did your son ever get any press for his music career?
Well, I mean, he would sometimes get covered as a local band, or he would, there'd be a review of the band in the paper. So that's happened a few times over the years. Or he won Battle of the Bands.
Ooh.
He
didn't get famous enough that they had to come and interview all of you about him.
No, we knew him when.
Yeah.
No, nothing like that. No. So other than that, we're a pretty low-key family. We're definitely not out there. So,
well, y'all don't have to look on the news to find out what's going on with us. You can just listen to the podcast. We're here every day. And then we have our old news on the weekend, so you can keep listening. That's it for today's round 1. Tune in tomorrow for our entertainment-themed round 2, and later in the week to find out what we're complaining about, obsessing about, and recommending right now. We're always interested in what you have to say, so drop us a comment on our website, our Facebook page, or Twitter, where you'll find us at Roundabout Chat.